The UK Timeout on Radio Biafra, bringing news beats from across the United Kingdom, incisive analysis by the People's Parliament. Our panel dissects the topics of the week, and listeners interact.
Also featuring great Biafran history, education, awareness, and enlightenment, plus entertainment galore.
Tune in to the UK Timeout on Radio Biafra, Sundays from 7:30 p.m. Biafran time and British Summer Time. Set out for a fabulous week ahead with the UK Timeout on Radio Biafra. News, views, previews, and reviews. Join us.
Good evening here. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, where you are. Welcome to the UK Timeout on Radio Biafra. I'm your host, Ikechukwu Nice Nwokoro Ichie Machinemere. I hail from Onitsha, Ezinite, Owerri province in Biafra, and I serve my beloved Biafrans as the IPOB United Kingdom National Coordinator. Today, Sunday, Ụbọchị Orie, the 26th day of January 2025, we'll bring you our usual lineup, and we round up the topic of homecoming, looking at how IPOB in diaspora, especially Europe, in the Scandinavia in particular, are helping to mobilize Biafrans towards answering the call of homecoming. I will have as my special guests at the People's Parliament discussion segment a panel of IPOB leaders in the Scandinavia countries of Sweden and Finland. The national coordinators of IPOB in those two Scandinavian countries will be with us to share their experiences and also give us words of encouragement. But as usual, and as is the custom of this program, we will start with a word of prayer in the language of heaven. Nani ezaine ekpere ekekere ụwa ka ihe niile ya n'ime ma jakwa ya mma nara otuto nara mbuli elu nara ngọzi nara ntụrụ ugo n'ihi na o kwesịrị gị. Anyị aja gị mma ka isi wee dubata anyị n'ime afọ a wee durukwa anyị na-eje na ngwụcha ọnwa mbụ nke afọ a. Taa wụ ụbọchị ụka nke ikpeazụ n'ime ọnwa mbụ a. Anyị enye gị otuto nna, si gị nara ekele, anyị ebuli aha nsọ gị elu, nakwa ayọ gị mgbaghara mmehie ụzọ niile anyị si mmehie ego otu ọbụla anyị na-esila mmehie gị. Eze biko gbaghara anyị, mere anyị ebere, ka amara gị bara anyị ụba. Anyị na-ayọ gị n'isi ụmụ Biafra niile ebe ọbụla ha na-anọ na ka ikpuchide anyị niile n'otu n'otu n'ezinụlọ anyị, kachasị ụmụ anyị, ndị nne anyị na ndị nna anyị, ikwu na ibe, ụmụ okoro na ụmụ agbọghọ, nwanne anyị nwoke, onye ndu anyị, nwa gị nwoke Nnamdi Kanu. Anyị werekwa ya anyị n'ọba aka gị ka anyị si eme n'ụtụtụ na ehihie na abalị, na olileanya na ị ga-emezu karịa ụka anyị na-ayọ n'isi ya. Eze mezuo ya wee nara otuto niile ruru gịnị ka ọnwa anyị wee zuo oke. Anyị arịọ m gị ihe ndị a na ihe ndị ọzọ nke ị mazuru karịa ka m mechetara ma kwupụta site n'aha nwa gị nwoke onye nke m kwenyere, diọkpara gị Yeshua HaMashiach. Ise 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 ise. Ọ na-eme ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume, ọ na-eme ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume, ọ na-eme ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume, ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume, ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume ka Chukwu na-eme. Newsbeat is next. Stay tuned.
Good evening from here. I am Wada Oge with Mazinonso on the Newsbeat. IPOB UK National Annual General Meeting will be held on Saturday, July 5th, 2025 in Luton. IPOB UK National Coordinator Chief Ikechukwu Nwokoro, who released a revised IPOB UK 2025 national meetings and activities scheduled today, explained that the shift from last weekend in July to first weekend of the same month is to enable formidable comrades Ezigbo Umu Chineke from Europe and other continents who wish to attend as part of the 2025 European Revival Evangelism the opportunity to participate. The UK National Coordinator Chief Nwokoro also said that programs and events have been meticulously planned to avoid undue clashes, maintaining that consideration has been equally given to our ongoing community engagement and mobilization, as well as Biafra education awareness and dissemination events. He advised all zones, regions, and national teams to adhere to the public schedule and ensure their meetings are reasonably spaced to accommodate one another. Meetings at the grassroots must be consistent and frequent as he reshuffles the leadership cadre right from the grassroots to the national cabinet this year, with a view to positive transformations towards greater efficiency. IPOB UK National Coordinator has also thanked Ezigbo Umu Chineke, who have answered the call to move the ongoing Free Nnamdi Kanu Change.org petition launched by Onyedu's wife Lolo Uchechi Okukanu to the next level, stating that now the petition has reached the first milestone of 10,000 signatories, which will trigger the British government to raise the issue of Mohamadike's illegal incarceration on the floor of the House of Commons. He urged all to push on for the next target, which will move our quest to the next level in our diplomatic offensive. As of now, the petition signatures are nearly 11,000. IPOB worldwide leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has dragged ex-aide to former President Buhari to court over defamation of character and false accusations of terrorism. In a lawsuit filed at Enugu High Court last week, Kanu demanded 100 billion naira in damages. Bashir Ahmad, the former special assistant on digital communications to ex-president Muhammad Buhari, falsely claimed his statement published on talkofniger.com and phoenixbrother.com that anybody advocating for the release of Nnamdi Kanu should be considered a sworn enemy of the country. Meanwhile, Onyedu has stood his ground on the recovery of Justice Binta Nyako, maintaining that he will not stand trial in her court for earlier notified reasons. Last Wednesday, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu confided in his defense team during their weekly routine meeting that they formally requested for the transfer of his unjust trial to anywhere in the eastern region, notably Enugu or Umuahia.
Good evening, I'm Mazi Nnamdi. The illegally imprisoned Ezigbo Estate in Lagos, who last week regained his freedom after 2 years in arbitrary detention. Chief Frederick Wajago has revealed that Mr. Ogbonna Solomon Agwede, former president of Ohanaeze Lagos, was the main person responsible for his illegal incarceration because he, Wajago, refused to support Agwede when he lost Ohanaeze Lagos seat in an election to Sunday Osai. So when Wajago declined Agwede fought against Osai victory, Agwede started plotting evil against Wajago, whose two daughters, Daisy and Daisy, who were undergraduate at Lagos State University, have called missing since 2 years. Chief Wajago has been in prison. People have been involved to desist from working against themselves and sabotaging one another. Anambra State government has claimed that her newly launched security force, Agone Chamber, raided notorious kidnappers there, demolishing 2 buildings, holding victims hostage in Chicago, South, amid criticism and skepticism about the operational purpose of Agone Chamber, also known as Operation Lugachi, which Government Soludo announced recently, replacing the ineffective and nefarious AVJ. Still, in Anambra, there has been widespread condemnation of Abagana Indeji, who poured war on his wife and burned her which resulted in her death a few days after the horrific incident. Despite the corporate plea for forgiveness from their five sons, the state government and general public, security experts found out that most kidnapping incidents in Southeast are carried out by bandits, criminals, kidnappers, and herdsmen, often disguising as IPOB and ESN. A research by security expert from Nestia SPD has revealed the activity of such notorious elements cover the entire range of violent crimes. Extortion of money from innocent citizens while pretending to have ties with the secessionist agitator Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, and its self-defense wing, Eastern Security Network, ESN. The experts in an extensive research work also say that majority of those behind the insecurities in the Southeast have no commitment whatsoever to Biafra restoration. Rather, their actions are all about profits from their lucrative criminal ventures. The research report was authored by Dr. Ben Ross, an associate consultant at Nestia, a senior research fellow at Institute for Development Studies, University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, and Dr. Ndo Nwokolo, a managing partner at Nestia and honorary fellow at School of Government at the University of Birmingham in UK.
A federal high court in Abuja on Thursday made an order proscribing the terrorist sect Lakurawa. The court also prescribed other similar groups in parts of Nigeria, especially in the northwest and north-central regions. Justice James Omotosho made the declaration while delivering a ruling in a motion expert filed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi. Elsewhere, students from the College of Agriculture and Renewable Natural Resources at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Iseyin campus, took to the streets on Monday to express their frustration with the school management. At the center of their grievances is the unavailability of essential facilities needed for their practical work, despite each student paying approximately 50,000 naira for farm equipment and other necessary materials. University of Ibadan and Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Students' Union leaders have denied receiving rice palliatives from Tinubu, vowing to reject such if ever offered. President Tinubu had reportedly extended palliative support to the Students' Union government presidents across all 36 states of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory, a distribution of which was purportedly made through the Office of the Special Advisor on Students' Engagement to the President as on Sunday. In another development, an unidentified NYSC corps member was killed, with others injured in a ghastly road crash on Thursday, 23rd January in Ebonyi State. She was among a group of 12 other prospective corps members conveyed in a 14-seater bus which headed for the NYSC orientation camp in Afikpo town, the Afikpo local government area of the state, for their 3 weeks orientation course. In Bayelsa, police and NDLEA officers clashed over an alleged arrest of a suspected drug dealer who is a policeman's wife on Thursday in the Ekeki area of the state capital, Yenagoa. Another report says that the Nigerian police last week sacked Officer Peter Ejike, the policeman who prosecuted one Udele, aka Ijele Speaks, over his false fraud allegations and defamation of character of popular Catholic evangelist Ebukobi of the Zion Ministry.
After 31 days of constant power supply, residents in Abaring Fence, comprising 9 of 17 local governments areas in Abia State, residents experienced their first power outage in months this weekend as vandals attacked gas pipeline. The Aba Power deeply apologized to their numerous customers who have been enjoying ceaseless electricity supply since December 17, saying vandals searching for crude oil, petroleum product to steal attacked the Eastern Gas Network this weekend. in the Niger Delta NNPC Limited and security agencies say that they have uncovered 179 crude oil theft, pipeline vandalization cases within the last 1 week. Meanwhile, human rights lawyer Femi Falana has blamed security agency, relevant government parastatals, saddled with responsibility attending to emergency for failing to prevent last Saturday's tragic petroleum tanker explosion that occurred at Diko Junction in Guara, Niger State. Falana disclosed preventable disaster, reportedly claimed at least 36 lives and left 855 victims hospitalized with serious injuries. The Kano State Police Command has alerted residents on suspected plan by terrorists to target public gathering in strategic locations across the state. In a statement, the police spokesperson in the state, Abdullahi Kigawa, asked members of the public to exercise caution, avoid crowded areas until further notice, to enable security agencies to identify and neutralize potential threats. Following the report that main bandits and terrorists from the north were heading to the southwest, the Kakanfo of Yoruba land, Gani Adams, some security outfits including Oduwa People Congress, OPC, and the Hunters Association last Friday slammed governors of the regions not collaborating with them to secure their region. Gani Adams said Yoruba land will be too hot for terrorists and members of IPOB, adding that efforts are onto the stop the spread of insecurity in Yoruba land, dealing with various threats emanating from influence of IPOB and other Fulani bandits in the southwest. Yoruba boasts that apart from Oduwa People Congress, OPC, there are over 10 private security groups known as the Southwest Security Stakeholder Group, SSSG. Ogun State Command claimed their operatives have neutralized kidnappers of Mr. Odumosu, wife of retired Assistant Inspector General AIG Hakim Odumosu, and rescued her unharmed, prompting IPOB to urge the police to equally act with urgency when ordinary Nigerians are faced with security challenges. Most parts of Abuja have been thrown into darkness as bandits cut underground transmission cables supplying electricity to the city center. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, in a statement on Friday, listed the affected parts of the city at Maitama, Hussein Jabi, Life Camp, Asokoro, Otako, Mabushi. So federal government has urged the Katsina State government to support its new Operation Safe Corridor Northwest with a view to allowing the repentant bandits to surrender their arms and release all kidnapped victims. The General Officer commanding 8th Division of the Niger Army, Sokoto State, Major General Ebukene Ademola Ajeshe, made the call when he visited Katsina State, Ikorada, on Wednesday in Katsina.
Nigerian Labour Congress has called for the resignation of the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, over the repeated collapse of the national power grid. In a statement last Tuesday, the NLC President Joe Ajero expressed deep concern over the worsening state of Nigerian electricity sector, which he described as being on the brink of total collapse. NLC has also urged Nigerians to protest against the federal government's recent approval of a 50% increase in telecom tariffs, which Zoo Telecommunications Minister Wale Edun said on Friday was just a start. NLC condemned the tariff hike, describing it as an unjust burden on citizens already grappling with harsh economic challenges, including rising inflation and declining purchasing power. APC chieftain Adams Oshimolo has asserted that retired generals are behind illegal mining in Nigeria, and top politicians including President Tinubu know those criminal ex-generals. Senator Oshimole, who is the former governor of Edo State and former APC national chairman, made the allegation when the chairman of the Senate Committee on Solid Mineral Development, Senator Samson Ekong, submitted his 2025 budget report before the Senate Committee on Appropriations. Oshimole said that the country's efforts to diversify its economy will remain a mirage if President Tinubu's administration failed to address the issue of illegal mining, adding that most top government functionaries know the illegal miners' chiefs. Sean stated that nobody in Africa doesn't know them, maintaining he did a letter to former President Muhammad Buhari on the matter, but nothing was done. Former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello, who is currently standing trial for an alleged 110 billion naira fraud, has been spotted this week with Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, at his Abuja residence, fueling suspicion of circumventing of justice. Yahya Bello visited Wike on Thursday afternoon. The fraud suspect was accompanied by his successor and current Kogi Governor, Ahmed Usman Ododo. A senior advisor to Wike shared several photos of the troublesome threesome on the social media last Thursday. The World Bank has announced a 30-month debarment of two Nigerian companies, Viva Atlantic Limited and Technology House Limited, for fraudulent, collusive and corrupt practices linked to the National Society Safety Net project. The World Bank disclosed that the project aimed to provide targeted financial assistance to poor and vulnerable households was compromised due to several unethical practices, procurement and contract processes from 2018 with Tinubu and his governors on ending borrowings. Latest data has shown that as of September 2024, Nigeria's total public debt reached 142 trillion naira, and Nigeria's debt burden swelling. Each citizen now owes 624,527,000 naira, a rise of 63% under Tinubu.
Stroke insider claim President Tinubu had insisted ex-President Buhari to take witness box in Paris courts over 6 billion Mambila power contract fraud, in which Mohammed Buhari regime was cited for breaching terms of power generation and distribution contract awarded to Sunrise Power, a transmission company of Nigeria. Tinubu over the weekend hosted Finland ambassador to Nigeria to thank him for his country's arrest and detention of agent provocator and Biafra agitation imposter Simon Ekpa. On the West African sub-region, a military joint force of West African neighbors, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, will soon deploy a troops in their troubled Central Sahara region. Niger Defense Minister Salifo Modi said the new joint force would have its own assets, equipment, intelligence, and resources, and operate across the territory of the three nations which have formed the cooperational pact known as Alliance of Sahel States. Last Tuesday, the unified AES announced that a joint force numbering 5,000 is ready, and it's only a matter of weeks before they will be visible on the ground. Added that some joint operation had already taken place under the mantra of One Sahel. One army violence followed by a decade-long fight with Islamic groups linked to Al-Qaeda Islamic State has worsened since the coup in the Sahel. The UN humanitarian agency OCHA said around 2.6 million people were displaced within the region as of last December. In America, President Trump has officially initiated the process to withdraw the United States from the World Health Organization, potentially ending a 75-year partnership that has significantly influenced modern global health response. The World Health Organization is losing its largest financial contributor. The public health experts are expressing concern about potential impact on global disease prevention and response efforts. Trump signed the executive order on January 20, 2025, marking the second time in less than 5 years he ordered withdrawal of the World Health Organization. In the first attempts, Biden reversed the process when he took office. The U.S. contributed $1.284 billion to World Health Organization in 2022 to 2023, more than any other country. Trump reasons includes claims of World Health Organization mishandling the COVID-19 pandemic response, allegations of the organization being controlled by China, and arguments that America paid unfairly high contribution compared to other nations. Latest reports has it that Bishop Mariam Bond, who asked President Trump to show mercy on LGBTQ and illegal immigrants during the inauguration service, have been shut down by Episcopal Council. That's Newsbeat this week. Thanks for listening. The UK Timer continues in ATV.
You're still listening to the UK Timeout on Radio Biafra. Today, Ubochuri, we round off this first month of the new year, 2025, our year of true positive transformations, by concluding our topic, Homecoming, a transformational move towards the restoration of our sovereignty, our nation, Biafra. Last Sunday, we looked at homecoming from the perspective of our homeland. And we had a distinguished guest in the studio who gave us valuable information regarding the situation back home and how our people are responding to the call which IPOB is leading for us to return home, to our homeland, our fatherland, and to our primary traditional occupation, farming and other industries and enterprises. So today, we are dimming the searchlight overseas and aim to look rather inward on how we, the indigenous people of Biafra in diaspora, in Europe precisely, and the faraway Scandinavian region in particular, are mobilizing Biafrans towards answering the homecoming call. I have with me tonight IPOB leaders in two key Scandinavian countries, Sweden and Finland, to give us valuable insight into how our people in that very cold region, we presume, are warming up to homecoming. I also like to invite you, our dear listeners, to join us to share your own experiences and thoughts by calling in at the right time with the numbers that are on the flyer, which I'll call out when the time comes. But first, I'm very honored to invite our distinguished, formidable Umuchineke in the studios with me tonight to introduce themselves, beginning with the Sweden National Coordinator. Umuchineke, thank you very much for answering this call. Kindly unmute yourself and introduce yourself to great Biafrans and greet our dear listeners.
Thank you, Mazi. Nice work. I'm glad to be here this evening. My name is Mazono Kafo. I from Ezenite, Mimbise, under province. I want to greet our leader, Mazin Nandokano, the man that started all this, the man that opened our eyes when we were all asleep. And I want to also thank all the members of the DOS, the formidable men that have led us this far. I pray that God will strengthen all of you. And I want to also use this opportunity to thank all the IPOB members worldwide and the IPOB members in Sweden. More especially, I also want to thank and greet all our radio presenters and Mazi Alozie this evening being with us. I say may God continue to strengthen you. You were in the list of the people that defended and protected our land, and today you being here is an inspiration and it's a challenge to all of us that are much younger than you are, and that's why we must continue to be strong and to push forward. I want to also thank all the comrades here, the panelists, and Mazi Naizumoko. I thank you also, my dear brother. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Once again, you're most welcome. Our able national coordinator in Finland, of all places. Machineke, meet and introduce yourself and greet Biafrans.
Thank you very much for having me watching this work. My name is Carlo Isaac Chukwemeka. I am the national, by the grace of God, I'm serving IPOB as a national coordinator of Finland. I hope you can hear me very clearly, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're coming out loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for having me. And by the grace of God, I'm serving IPOB as a national coordinator of Finland. And I also want to thank you, our radio presenters, for this video actually, and also Yendu, who is also let me put it that who has been held in solitary confinement actually. And also I want to thank Biafrans all over the world, our DUS all over. I also thank Lolo, his wife also, I believe, and also people who are hearing us this night. I cannot do much because my fellow colleague has also put them all over the world. I will stop here for now and I wait for your question. Thank you very much for having me once again.
They're formidable. You're in the trenches. I know why I use the phrase Finland of all places. So we'll discuss a little bit about that. But let's look at today's topic. Fixing our gaze at our homeland. Because the saying goes, east or west, home is best. Here in diaspora and all over the world, or wherever Biafrans may have been dispersed to by diverse circumstances and situations, our spirit is still in Biafra land. That's where we belong and who we are. Let me just ask this as a rhetorical question, but feel free to answer as you please. Did you travel home this past Christmas season? If you didn't, did you send relief to people back home, and did you monitor situation? If you don't mind to share a couple of the feedback you got from home, from your locality. I'm beginning with Maazi Onukafo.
No, yeah, I was not able to travel during Xmas, but I did talk with friends and relatives, family members, and from what I gathered, it was a very joyous time, you know, according to our tradition. Most people came home and they did enjoy themselves. And from what I gathered, the security and all the rest of them wasn't much a problem. They were very, very fine. So, thank you much.
They were watching it.
Yeah, thank you very much actually. Sorry, I had to mute and because I'm talking from my phone. Please, I need to just when he's talking, I need to mute and sometimes mute. So please, to be taking a little bit more time for me to respond.
No problem. We understand.
Okay, yeah. Your question of whether if I traveled home, actually I didn't travel this time because by this time last year I was there and at this point I chose not to go this time to really do some things here. But I got some feedback from some friends who traveled from here, from Finland, who traveled home because when you hear the name Finland, it rings a bell actually because of this is where a lot of things are going on. But thank God, God is fighting our fight actually. So people who went said it wasn't peaceful actually. I have a different opinion about what my what said actually, what my colleague said actually, because he said it wasn't peaceful. I remember one story where somebody I know who went for the mother's funeral and from nowhere there's some men in black came and started shooting spherical into the air and were told to give some ransom, which they gave another story somewhere, the same area or something like that. So, okay, some people who came back said because they didn't get in to kidnap somebody close to him and they had to pay some ransom. So this is what we had actually. Well, apart from this, otherwise, you know, if I've not had any bad news, but still people are still there. They are going to come actually, so we will hear from them. But as an IPOB member or whatever you do, you have to be very, very careful. I'll leave it here for now, but I wish you a next question. Thank you very much.
Safety first. Yes. Security is a major incentive for homecoming. Indeed, I mean, we touched it in this intro. And the IPOB leadership, indeed, IPOB worldwide, take security as topmost priority. That's why we support the Eastern Security Network, ESN, and we try all our level best to ensure that we provide the necessities for their efficient operation and service to our people. What would be your overall assessment of the present security situation in Biafra land, especially Alibo, and also the condition of service of our OMA or the ESN, given the dwindling support, financial support especially in the last few years?
Master, should I take the question?
Yes, go ahead. If you are ready, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, sure. The issue is that generally in Igbo land, security is still a concern, and I would say that in the whole Biafra land. So, and when you talk about homecoming, the security is one of the things some people are pointing at. So, if you look at, like, for example, you mentioned ESN. ESN is actually working very hard to protect our land. And it is because of the work of the ESN that our people today can at least go into the farms. Then, when we talk about security, we also remember that there are some terrorists moving around, kidnapping our people, and killing our people. So, but when I remember security issues in Biafra land, I start to think how all this started. We used to have a very peaceful place. So, the southeast used to be one of, if not the most, I would say, peaceful place in that very place called Nigeria. But some people try to change what our land used to be. I remember when the governors started bringing the military in the form of a python dance, and they start to kill our young men. They start to invade houses and they take people, kill them at will. Everyone is aware when they also moved to the house of our leader, Mazen Nandekama, and they massacred 28 men there. So, and the Nigerians thought it was okay because, Biafrans are, should I say, Igbos are hated. So, today that insecurity has circulated even more in our land. So, this is one of the things going on today that when you look around, some people want to come home, but they are pointing at insecurity. So, but IPOB through ESN has been working very hard. And that's why we have a relatively peace in our land. Maybe not 100% at the moment, but at least we can boast that our people can go to farm. We are no longer being challenged by the northerners that, oh yeah, you cannot get food, you cannot get tomatoes, you cannot get onions and all the rest of them. At least today our people can go to the farm. But I know the work is not properly done. We need more hands to be on deck to totally secure our land. Our people are ready to go home. Anyone that doesn't want to go home, I don't know what will be his or her problem. Because you can, if you talk about security in Igbo land, you think of security in Yoruba land. In Lagos, our buildings are being destroyed. In the north, or whatever happens, they will use our people as example to show whatever anger they have, which is not totally understandable. So, Maz, that is what I will say. The assessment of the security situation totally is, I will say, it's not 100% now. But home is home. And we are not going to leave our home to run away to somewhere else. Thank you, Maz. Let me stop here for now.
Yes, Maz Chukwemeka, I'm sure based on the feedback you got that you have more to say on this. Thank you, Maz Onoka, for watching again.
Yeah, thank you very much, actually. When you talk about security, actually, if you look at holistically in Africa, it has been a very big problem, actually. Comparing that with Europe, where we are in the Western world, security, mostly, let me not go to America, where we hear all these things of shooting, stuff like that online, and we think the place is burning. Actually, let me concentrate more on in Europe. And Finland, where I reside, has been a very peaceful nation, where you could get up one morning, even at 2 a.m., staying around the bushes, and there will be no animal or anybody attacking you, stuff like that. So that's not an issue here, but there's been much of an issue back home in Africa. Just like, for example, we who are living in diaspora here, when something happens and it comes on air, to be as if the whole southeast or the whole Biafra land is burning, actually. But one person, for example, called and said, all these things are saying, only some few areas, actually. But still, that those few areas, I was able to get not very pleasant information coming from that side. People are still there, just like I told you, and they will still come back and then we'll then make a general assessment of how Ali was able to really, show on this festive period. But talking about our ESN brothers, our ESN on ground, actually, they have been doing very fantastic job. For example, 2-3 years ago, it was burning very much that, things are happening when in Ebonyi State, for example, where things where we had that, the Fulanis, they go into the bushes and do something, do something. If you go there, they might kidnap or something, or rape or stuff like that. Killing our people, raping our mothers, raping our girls, and also stealing from our elderly ones who goes to farm and stuff like destroying our farmland. This is the reason why ESN was created, actually. And in ESN, you see, they are being restricted, I'll put it that way, in the sense that they are not meant to combat people who are causing many of the men in black out on the streets. They are meant to be in the bushes to drive the Fulani people to go out and the Muslim is go out and rent a house and do stuff like that. They've not been given that order, that marching order to also combat those people on the men in black or stuff like that. People who are infiltrators, who does these things, and just like the commandant who is here, Simon Ekpa, who is now in custody and stuff like that, who commands them and stuff like that. So those things you see. So yes, they are doing a fantastic job based on that. So our people, just like my colleague said, they are able to go to farm, do stuff, but still not enough, actually. So we hope and pray and wish that someday, sometime, it will be no more to enable us when we are coming back home. We come back home freely and with that safe mind of people not only coming home to do something back home. So this is where I feel that we should work on, because when there's security, when there's safety, then people can come back home and invest. So we look forward that time, and I believe you're working there step by step. I believe by this time, sometime in the next future, we will get there. Thank you very much.
Thank you much, Neke. You're very correct indeed. Going home now, particularly for IPOB leaders, principal officers, seems to be high risk, because we are targeted for unlawful arrest, illegal incarceration, and other heinous atrocities. Some saboteurs have even taken up contracts from the Zil government and other agents of darkness to serve as informants is really pointing out people, sometimes even innocent people, labeling them IPOB members at arrival, launch, and terminals of international airports. And from there, people are whisked away, become easy prey for, as I said, unlawful arrest, illegal detention, and even extrajudicial killing. So it indeed takes a lion heart, a brave mind and man or woman as a known principal officer of IPOB to their homecoming, which shouldn't be the case. What do you make of this very sad situation, which Mazono Kafo, especially you?
Yeah, Amaze, that is one of the highest injustice you can think of on earth. You can't force a people to be in a country that has totally marginalized them from time immemorial. IPOB, so to say, has offered a solution to the Nigeria problem, because Nigeria was badly configured and brought together by the Britain, and it was for their selfish interest. And this Nigeria has killed a lot of people. We have actually tried to live in this same country they created and handed over to us. It has not been easy for anyone. No part of Nigeria is having fun. At all times, it's killing here, killing there. So IPOB thereafter just gave a solution to the problem that Nigeria has. And the solution they gave is that, we want to be on our own. So if people say we want to be on our own, I don't think they have insulted anyone, or they have come against anyone's wish. So those who want to be in Nigeria can continue. We are not against Nigeria, neither are we against Nigerians. Rather, we say we want to be on our own. Because I remember during the genocide they called Biafran War. I listened to one man, he was interviewed. He said, someone asked him, what are you fighting for? He said, we are fighting for survival. So Mazi, I think we are fighting for survival. Indeed, we are fighting for self-preservation, which is a part of human instinct, that you have to preserve yourself, protect yourself, for example. So Nigeria has become a thorn on our flesh. So we feel like we want to be on our own. So those who want to remain in Nigeria can continue. So it's a high injustice for anyone to kill a freedom fighter, to kill someone because he said, I want to be on our own. It's not, I want to be on my own. He's not against any person. So this is one of the things that those who call themselves Nigerians have been doing. And this is quite annoying. And this has even made people to say, if that is the case, we must really be on our own, because this is not making sense at all. If we say we are displeased by how you handle things, we expect you to come to the round table and ask us, what's the problem? And think of how to solve the problem. But instead of you to do that, you feel like, coming and arresting us, putting us in prison. Mazi, look at our leader. He's in DSS custody still. What is his crime? Can anybody name his crime? Even their own court have said this man should be released. They say no. They don't want to leave him. When Buhari was alive, Buhari said, we will go to court. The court will decide. So now they have taken him to the court, and the court discharged and acquitted him of all the cock and bull allegations and the charges they try to bring up upon him. But they are still holding him. As you see why people will not stop agitating. I mean, reasonable people.
I don't mean people who cannot reason. Anyone that can reason will see that there is a high level of injustice in this country. Why would you keep holding somebody because he said he wants freedom? So my happiness today is that the Biafrans have the courage and boldness to say, oh, we want to be on our own. It gives me a lot of joy, Mazi, because that shows that, oh, these people believe in themselves. They believe in what they can do as a people. So those who want to be parasites, they should be ashamed of themselves. Because if they are human beings enough, they should try to be on their own as well. They should try to find a way to find meaning to their own life. Because Nigeria is not working for everybody. So, but coming against those who are agitating, who want to be free, that is another level. I call it a very high level of injustice. And that will not make us to say, oh, we want to now be Nigerians. So if anybody is telling them that, I think they should think again, if they are believing that, actually.
Yeah, so, I totally agree with you much. We are all agreed that the majority of Biafrans, the vast majority I must emphasize, are desirous of homecoming. We want to go home to develop our God-given land and resources to the greater good of all, not just us or individuals, but all. And we also agree, even previous panelists on this program have submitted, that insecurity will not or never allow us to attract the required investment into our homeland. You mentioned that as well. What other prerequisites will you say that Biafrans, individuals, organizations, communities, and even the government as it is today should prioritize to promote homecoming? Several bodies have been trumpeting it, paying what I call lip service to homecoming. Different IPOB groups, Akurul, I'm sure you must have heard about it. But what must be prioritized to make it a reality?
Okay. Can I go ahead?
Security, we know security is sorted again. What other parameters must be prioritized?
Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. When you talk about, we talked about security, and let's not go into that anymore. Actually, we're also creating those environment to which we are going to come. For example, I've always said this. It has been written in my mind that all the Igbo needs now. If you ask me, what is the first thing that we need? Is a seaport there. For example, I'll give you an example. Why I said this. Before I came to Europe, I live very close in Apapa. If there are 50 containers if a ship comes back and there are 50 containers that comes in, 40 to 45% of those containers, or 40% of those containers are Igbos imported containers coming in from there to here. And you see, these goods are being shipped to the east. Now, if you buy a good for like 10, I'll use the word euro, or 10 naira in Lagos, you see, before it gets to the east, it's almost times 2 or much more than what it is. But if the same ship that will bring the same product is coming to bat in Lagos, and same time goes and drop people who has the goods somewhere in the east, it will be the same price or even less as somewhere back home. So I keep saying we should be advocating not airports but seaports. I'm telling you, you and I, we all have our side business that we do, that we bring something back home. We will do it straight back to the east, and airport will create itself. There will be good roads when there are people, when there are goods coming in from this place. There will be this. There's this economic one. I don't want to bring it here. Actually, there's this city ties that will come in between, each states, even non-Igbo speaking states, if they put it that way. Actually, which I don't want to go in. Actually, because that is topic for another day. So what I will advocate is that enabling environment that we can be able to come in, invest, and with this seaport stuff, then other things will create itself. You see that if that could happen, I'm telling you, Lagos might be a graveyard. Or they know these things. So they don't want to allow these things to happen. Of course, even if you're there, not really, because if, for example, now I'm hearing that they are building this, what is it called, this refinery somewhere in Lagos. You know, before you ship it down to the east, you can imagine that. So these are things I will say, or I will say for one. There are still more, but let me not go into that. The question, another question you want to ask about, something I want to talk about actually, when you said, you know, people have been marked for elimination and stuff like that. I think that's part of it. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
IPOB leaders, principal officers in particular.
Yes, that's what I want. Yeah. So, you know, when you see IPOB leaders here who are marked, you know, sometimes everybody has, you know, they don't like you, you know, if somebody just like you are, me, myself, and we, and every human being, some people don't like you because of who you are. You know, we have these enemies who are already, sometimes they might go and label you this, at the airport they might pick you up. So let's advise, if you are going home, don't tell the time and where you're landing and stuff like that. You just go in the device and don't stay too long in a place, maybe in the villages or stuff like that. You just have to be very, very, very careful with who you tell, where you are going to, how who you tell your movement. So this is one thing I'd like to talk about. So let's be also be very, 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 very careful, because in the struggle step they are saboteurs. So this is what every principal officer and also a member of our struggle should be very, very careful. So I will leave it here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. We also know that homecoming has been described as a reversal of brain drain. That is, now we are trying to bring the brains back to our homeland. We have our highly skilled manpower overseas, professionals and entrepreneurs who can come home and utilize their skills, talents, and experience to develop Biafra land. How is this mantra or philosophy of homecoming resonating with Biafrans in your country, in the Scandinavian? Our listeners would like to also know what is the numerical strength of Biafrans in your region, in Scandinavia, for example, in Finland, which has become notorious as a small country like Finland has become suddenly notorious. And some people wonder how many Biafrans are actually in Finland and same in Sweden. And then how do they resonate with this philosophy of homecoming? Are they thinking of coming home? Are they buying into this idea of homecoming as IPOB is promoting?
Should I go first or?
Yeah, you can go first. Yes, I refer to Finland. So you go first, then we come to Sweden.
Okay, thank you. In my own take on this is just like mentality is in the heart of men. So homecoming is in the heart of every Igbo resident in my country. Also in my country where I reside at the moment, Finland actually. Because just like I said, partly if you my response to the last question, you know, we all have these things that we all have these things that we do, this side business also. Maybe some people take it as a major business. I buy for one is my side also. Actually, people take it as a major business. So people buy these things, like mostly you see these car businesses and other things they buy, another computer sessions and stuff. Many things actually. They ship it back home. This tells you stuff actually that we have home at the back of our mind majorly. So every Biafran is thinking of home. When is a home, enabling place for them to come and they will thrive. It's one question, actually. So if things like this could be, when they have an enabling grounds, I'm telling you, or if we get our Biafra tomorrow, I'm telling you, 90% of the people who are living here want to go back home and do something. So this is what I have to say. Thank you very much.
What is the situation in Sweden? How are people responding to homecoming? And also, what is your IPOB under your able leadership doing to engage our communities?
Yes, Mazi. Most of our people want to go home, actually. No place like home, like they say. So, when we talk about going home, I have listened to some of them. Recently, I met one of our brothers. He told me he want to go home. He's tired. He has been here for years as well. So he talked about farming and other things he presented. And they were all wonderful. So I told him, yeah, you can go and give it a try. So, and some others are complaining about insecurity and, electricity and all the rest of them. So, my colleague talked about seaport. Yes, that's one of the things. I want to add that electricity is also one of the things that you can have if you want to have a meaningful development and the economy. When you talk about economy, there's no economy in the whole world that runs on generator. Not at all. So, IPOB a few months ago was talking about EEDC. So I don't want that to stop. You need to push them because without constant electricity, no meaningful development will come. So this is the thing. Our people want to go home because what we are doing here, we can do it better back home. So we can use whatever we have learned abroad to come back home to fix our land, build our land, and develop our land. We are not happy to be outside our land for so long. Most of us didn't come to Europe because we want to stay there. Even the animals, they go and they get what they want, they come back home. They have a place called home. So we, as human beings, we have also migrated out and we have come and we have seen how things work. We want to go home to develop our land. So that is what every one of us here is actually looking at. So that we can contribute to the development of our land. We come here to serve people, and the same people we are serving, they are going back home where we left. They are extracting whatever we have there, and they are getting a bunch of it back to their land. And we are here serving them, getting, peanuts. So this cannot continue, Mazi. I want to say that this trend of migration should stop. It's enough. Those people that traveled before us, they were sold. Most of them were sold out. Until we decided to come and enslave ourselves. That is voluntarily. Mazi, if we don't stop this trend of migration, it will be a great loss to us. You are talking about brain drain. Yeah? We want to turn this to a brain gain because we have also gained a lot of knowledge that we can bring home, not only remission.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can bring a lot of things back home. I believe that God in heaven knows why He allowed this to happen, and it has happened. It's also a strength to us today that Biafrans are all over. Yeah, that being all over, some people think is only a plus. It's also a plus, it's also a minus. Because we have to build our land. No place like home. We can't continue running. All of us that left home and come out to Europe and other Western places, I want this migration of a thing to maybe not stop totally, to cease a bit. This trend, I want it to go a bit down because, Mazi, you see all of us that has come, we know where we come from. We know our culture. That's why we are longing to go back home. But you see our kids, we are born here, if we don't quickly take them back home, we will start to lose. So, this is why I think
I need to with you 100%. This is exactly
we need to go fast and go home, Mazi. So we are tired. Most of us have been here for 15, 20 years. Myself, I've been here for 15 good years, Mazi. I didn't plan like this before I left. So that thing that is pursuing us out of home, we want to face it. Mazi, is better. To face it is better. We develop our home because those we are coming to their homes and we are relaxing. They are in their home. The sweets doesn't run around. Their home is stable. It's okay. They can become whatever they want in life in their home. Mazi, before this time, these people were going to, a long time ago, I will say in their history, because I read about the history here, they were traveling to America. Some of them were serving as maids over there in America. They came back home when they start to build their land, and they are in their land doing marvelously. In Biafra land, we can do well, even with the mineral resources or without. We can, Mazi. So let me stop here so I don't take so much time.
Today we watch exactly the message IPOB UK to our community engagement and mobilization team, national team, has been running down for the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, going to different activities, events, programs of our people to share this message. Let me ask you, I'm going to come back to Finland and what's going on there. Let me ask you the relationship between IPOB in your Scandinavia, both Sweden and Finland, and the Biafran community, particularly the Igbo community. I'm aware there is a good number of Igbo over there in Scandinavia. I'm sure wherever Igbo are, we always have thriving Igbo community associations and organizations. We are very good at forming, deforming, and reforming. Very, very few. So do we have real working relationship, cordial relationship with them? And how are they receiving IPOB message?
Yes, I will say the relationship is cordial somehow, in the sense that I believe some of them are understanding what we are doing. There is no loggerhead or fracas, so to say. But the area that is lacking is that here in Sweden, no Igbo organization, or should I say Igbo Hanes and Igbo meeting, none of them have supported IPOB. I hope they will. I hope they will change their mind. I hope and wish that they will understand that the goal of IPOB is to restore our land and nothing more. I hope and wish that in their meetings they will remember home. I hope and wish that they will think that without home they are nobody. They are just hanging on the air. You can't be outside the land. You're answering this, and that, whatever you think is a title or whatever, but the home is lacking. I believe they are seeing what is happening at home. And the man said, I wish, and I'm expecting that they will call IPOB and say, hey, this is our support, to see that the homeland is protected and saved. So this is it. We are not at loggerhead with them. I was once their secretary, Mazi. I worked also as one of the financial secretary for Ohanes and Igbo, here where I live, you know. So at that time, that was I think 2013, 14. Before I joined IPOB, and when IPOB, I was coming on one leg, you know, coming in, understanding what they are doing. They came and they talked to Ohanes and Igbo here in Sweden, and they received us. They understood what they said that day, the IPOB. Then shortly I joined IPOB, and even now as I speak, they still have the meeting. The meeting is on in the city where I live. So we are not against them, they are not against us. Rather, we wish that we come close and see that these our brothers fighting to defend our land should be supported. They can also be part of us if they want to. If they don't want to, they can give their support. This is all we want now. So that's how
well done. You see, I will say, you know, our people, I say, with us, you have to be persistent and consistent with your push. And the message we pass to people, they hear, they note, they just don't respond as you would think or as fast as you wish. Therefore, the strategy will be consistency, persistence. Remain resolute, continue to push on. I tell you, you keep running the message, and someday it will go into the thick scores, because I don't mean in a derogatory way. Our scores are thick. We are stubborn, we know that. We are difficult at times, but we are very wonderful people. And this is why we can't give up on our people. We will not let them drown, as it were, because that's what the enemy wants. Because the Biafra we are fighting for is for all of us. When we get it, which we will get by the special grace of true Kabiana, it will be for all of us. So now, as you mentioned, let's go back to your place, Finland. You mentioned a little bit of what the infiltrators, the agent provocateur in particular, is the influence, or rather the confusion he created in your place and also worldwide. Would you clarify, just for the purpose of our listeners, those who confuse themselves, linking him with IPOB and his cohorts, would you please clarify that and also state or inform us about the relationship between our IPOB, which is the one and only IPOB, one family, and the Biafra community in Finland?
Okay, thank you very much, actually. First of all, I'll start like this, actually. Please. Okay, are you hearing me? Can I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead, Watchneke. If your device is close to you, can you turn it down a little bit? I think
No,
echo.
No, actually no.
Okay, go ahead. Maybe just the bandwidth, yeah?
Okay. Actually, Sweden, let me start this way, actually. How a little bit of a nutshell of what really happened, actually. IPOB Sweden gave back to IPOB Finland, how it happened. People were going for meetings in Sweden and they met themselves in the booth and they were going for meeting and they came back and said, okay, instead of us going there, why don't we start doing something here? And they came up and the national coordinator there, my predecessor, who was resident in Finland and had the nationality of Italy or Italian nationality, became national coordinator and we were following him from time. Already, this was how they said already, the little did they realize that there had been this group who already had this IPOB somehow. Actually, they were in the meeting in Norway where they stood and said, "Okay, let's fight these fights." I don't know, people who were there knew what happened. Actually, I wasn't there, so I can tell more, but let me not say what I don't know. So IPOB Sweden gave back to IPOB Finland, actually, and this group who were there before. Our brothers who went to Sweden, actually, who were there before them, they said that, no, this guy, why should this guy be national coordinator? That was where that fracas came. So in Finland, there have been these two groups, actually. One where people who took an oath, people who went to Sweden, they took the oath, and also the one who were there and said, no, we are just IPOB, we won't take the oath. So they were more in population, and this one was just there, actually. So there have been that going back and forth of being this tussle between these two groups, actually. So I have been part of them, both of them somehow, actually, but I have not been a committed and dedicated member then. But I was watching what was going on until before came and this time, and then I joined the one that took the oath. So what am I saying? So if you look at it, Simon, their commandant, or call him by name if you don't mind, it has never been in the scene at all. Just came out from this was a man who was the Igbo chairman, Igbo Union chairman then, actually. So, who never liked anything about the IPOB at all, or liked what they represent or stood for. He never liked it at all. So once in a meeting somewhere in the city, somewhere very far, he brought out the IPOB flag, Biafran flag, and tore it openly. So when he left the seat, when his tenure was over...
repeat that so that our listeners can take note. That Elena was once chairman of the locality and he tore Biafran flag.
He tore the Biafran flag. When he was on seat, actually he tore the Biafran flag. But they shouldn't discuss that here and stuff and don't bring it here under my watch. This was what he said, actually. He tore the Biafran flag. So when he left, when his tenure was over, it was time for another man to come in. Suddenly, he started campaigning, started broadcasting and supporting IPOB, this, that, and that. People were surprised that people were following him. And now, my predecessor, who was the former national coordinator. He was the one I told you that was the Italian has the Italian nationality. Was warning.
Yes, I know him.
Yeah, there was warning that they shouldn't allow this guy to interview. To interview him actually, to interview him. So it was warning. When that warning went, wasn't adhered to. So the guy succeeded in interviewing him. Or is being somebody who was, if you are doing a good job, he will praise you actually. Announce his name that people should listen to him and stuff like that. This was where they are anchoring their belief. So by this one has never been it has never been a struggle at all. So by the records, I have never been a member. By my record, I have never been a member. Even before I came in and after I came in, I have never been a member. So this was where he came up, and from there, because of that incident, this is where we are now. So now, I'll leave it there. Let me not go too far but I don't want to take much time. So now, talking about the relationship between IPOB and Igbo Union, other Igbo organizations in Finland. If so long as you are an Igbo man, you are a Biafran. And actualizing the goal of restoring Biafra is in every Igbo man's heart. But they don't want to come in. And in Finland, being a special case or being a exceptional case, there is these two groups. Who are they going to follow? So many people who were in the right track had to backslide and join the wrong track. So we are but only three of us who came and said, no, let's stay and fight this fight. I'll tell you what happened, something that happened about 2 or 3 years ago. Now we are in 2025, something that happened 2021 or so, that led to his arrest. When they killed the woman in Enugu who was pregnant, and we all had that story. When the pregnant woman was when they killed her and brought her the unborn baby and killed the husband, that led to the spark of people all around the world shouting, "Are there men in Finland?" So men stood. I said, no, this guy, we know him. We know it anticipated. Know that this guy is not of good. Actually, we came together, including myself. I came in, and few other of us actually, we came in and said, what do we do? So we are brainstorming every week. So we took the case with evidences to the highest authority here in Finland. So when we did that, so the person started investigating him. So they were following him. So little did we realize that it could go around, not only him, but people around him too. So that was what led to his arrest. So I will just keep it here for now until there will be more questions. But the causality between the Igbo Union and the IPOB, we are very, very cordial. For just that, they have not found a concrete reason why they should come in, but we are still preaching. We are still formidable, still doing our best. We are still insisting. But I know that with time, they will join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ezbonga Chineke, for that wonderful revelation. Dear listeners, I'm sure you've heard him loud and clear from the horse's mouth. Maazi Chukwuemeka is one of the formidable Biafrans, Ezigbo Mafibo, in Finland for quite some reasonable time now, who knows in and out a lot about what has transpired there. You heard it from him. So it's not today that Irima Simon has been a Confucianist, an infiltrator, an agent provocateur. Go and check the true meaning of that phrase, agent provocateur. Also, please, if I should add this, when he was the Igbo Union chairman, the Igbo Union as a whole in Finland collapsed. So that man has never done anything good in his life. Exactly. I mean, a man who tore Biafra flag, and threatened people not to bring Biafra flag anywhere near Igbo gathering. Then all of a sudden make 360 turnaround to now start posing and creating content with Biafra flags and paraphernalia. And somehow agents of darkness and demons linked him to interview Onyendu. And by the way, we keep on saying this. It's not known to Onyendu. There is no record of Simon and Onyendu meeting face to face and holding any meeting or any interaction. So I wonder how reasonable people will believe that he is the de facto leader in the absence of Onyendu. I mean, how does that work? how people will think of that, and to conceive that idea is unimaginable.
Okay.
Now look at his antecedents, look at his history right from Finland, and you can tell that the Finnish authorities have a lot of those there. The Europeans they keep tab on him. So those who are thinking that whatever is happening to him now started today, you must be dreaming, you must be joking. So, well, we are not here to discuss it, but I'm very glad that you pointed this out, because our interest is how Biafrans in Finland are faring, how they are resonating with IPOB call for homecoming, how they are responding to our call to go back to our homeland, defend it, farm it, the agricultural fund project, ensure we produce enough food to sustain our people, because when you talk about security, the greatest security is food security. Once you have food sufficiency and security, other forms of security will begin to manifest. And that is why IPOB leadership under the DOS, in their wisdom, came up with the agricultural fund, in addition to the ESN, which provide the physical security. Thank you, Machineke. We've already mentioned about infrastructure. You talked about seaports, electricity, and other superstructural developments that, of course, you need for homecoming, for people to bring investment back home. Let's take a look at our political structure as well. The Southeast or Igbo political leaders of this generation, I don't know how to class them. How do you rate them? These people to me are Gadabashiruzo. They are the agents that actually stop the homecoming. And a lot of them benefit. Last Sunday on this program, I exposed how much they benefit from this security. And that is why they don't even want security in the first place. And that's why they want Onyedu to remain where he is. What are your takes about these Southeast politicians, governors, and the others in particular? Are they part of this homecoming dream that our people are having? Or they are dream killers? Mazi Onukafo, you can go first. I know you're...
Okay, Mazi, yeah. Thank you so much. You know, as we are clamoring for homecoming of Biafrans, I don't know how it sounds to these politicians. You know, some of our brothers that are also famous in a way or the other, I don't know how it sounds for them, because Mazi, I believe that even our land, our people should be talking about how to bring in some companies, industries, and all the rest of them. We have mentioned about seaport and the electricity, to see that our people have something to do. But some of these, our brothers, I don't know what they are thinking, actually. Some of them want to throw a very big party, and for people to clap for them. I don't know what they think about our land. So, talking about the politicians, what they think and what they are doing regarding the homecoming. As I will tell you that these politicians, just like you said, that they have been accused of conniving with our oppressors to subjugate our people. I will say that it sounds true, yeah, because if you look at Biafra land, you will see the number of checkpoints. For example, these men are not saying anything about this military occupation of our land. They are not saying anything about the extortion of our people. Mazi, our people are in pain. And every day they have to pay through their nose to make sure they pass through the road that ordinarily is made for them to use. Mazi, these men, you call them politicians,
and they speak Igbo, right? They are from Igbo or they are from Biafra, and they are not saying anything. So this is something that is pointing at them. Mazi, I mentioned about Python dance. Who brought the Python dance? Does the Pythons dance actually? What is actually Python? This is what they did in our land, Mazi. These men, you're calling their names here, they brought the military to kill our people. And these people are supposed to be their children. And they are supposed to be governors, like they are in the helm of affairs, right? They brought these people, and these people massacred our people. These people dehumanized our people. These people traumatized our children. Because when a kid is watching and he see how the military is shooting and cooking, kicking and killing people, this is a trauma in that kid's brain. And that's why you see a lot of problems today. The blood of the people doesn't mean something much to the kids of nowadays. They're like, yeah, your man will make it, this. Their brain is tuned off. This is what these people are doing. They are, I will say that unless they change today, we are telling them to actually take, a U-turn, 360-degree U-turn. Because they are bombing our land. They are burning our houses. These men, you call them politicians, they are not saying a word. They don't say a word. I don't mean only the governors. The senators, the House of Assembly, the local government chairman, all of them, they are not saying a word. So I'm believing that they are part of this. So for example, today, Saludo is, he has formed militia, or should I say, he called them security. He has formed what is it called? I don't remember the name now.
Vigilante, but they are not doing anything.
The vigilante, he formed security, Anambra security guard or something like that.
The first one, the Anambra Vigilante Group, AVG. Vigilante. What they call Agune Chamber.
Before Agune Chamber, they already formed the Ebubago. Yeah. Ebubago did not protect our people. Ebubago did not present any day. The terrorists terrorizing our people and our farmland, they did not present anyone they caught.
They came to kill, so they were not meant to protect anybody, but to kill our people.
Exactly. They didn't do anything. So, today they have formed Agune Chamber. And what Agune Chamber is doing now is to destroy our houses. Mazi, do you actually believe that, for example, you have caught some criminals, maybe they are into armed robbery or they are into kidnapping or whatever, you caught them. Do you actually believe that the home where they stay should be burnt? Do you believe that? We live in Europe, the police do their work. Have the police destroyed any property? Do you think is something done out of a reasonable mind? So the person, for example, Mr. A owns a house, and Mr. A is living somewhere outside maybe Biafra land, and some people or some friends or families or maybe using the house, and a crime is committed there. Do you believe that the house actually need to be burnt, destroyed with a caterpillar or whatever they call it, these tractors? So this is what we are seeing today. So when we point them, they should know that there is something we expect from them if they are for us. So these politicians, I see them like they are conniving naturally with our oppressors to make sure they inflict more pain on our people so that our people will run away from home. So for them, I don't know what they think about themselves or their kids. I don't know. If they want to flee them abroad so that they will become second-class citizens like us here. So I don't know what they think about their children.
Thank you, Machineke. Thank you. On top of the hour, I want to inform and invite our dear listeners that you can join us on this very interesting and intriguing topic of homecoming, what or how IPOB can mobilize Biafrans, particularly in diaspora, towards restoration of Biafra by our people going home. I have in the studios with me very distinguished, formidable IPOB leaders in Sweden, Mazi Stanley Onokafo, the national coordinator of our great movement there, and also from Finland, Mazi Isaac Chukwemeka, who is also the national coordinator of IPOB in Finland. He has given us a wonderful 8-breaking revelation tonight regarding the origin of infiltration by the agent provocateur that we know that is also based in Finland. But that is not our main topic. Our main topic is about homecoming, how our people can key into this and what can be done back home by those in Biafra land to ensure an enabling environment that will attract our people and their investment and resources back home in a reversal of the brain drain. Call it brain gain. We need to change brain drain to brain gain in this year 2025 and onwards. So the numbers to call, if you are calling from the United Kingdom, you may call directly on the number 078-177-96032. You can also call that number on WhatsApp. If you're in the UK or from outside of the UK, you add the country code +44. I tell you the number again. From outside of the UK it will be +44 781 77 96032. And if you're calling from the United Kingdom, you call direct on 078-177-96032. You may also try our second number if you're struggling. You can call that direct as well or on WhatsApp. The number is 074-481-83132. Direct from the UK or via WhatsApp from outside of the United Kingdom, +44 744 81-83132. We'll be happy to get your own views and also share a bit of experience of what is happening to Biafrans, particularly in Digo, in your area of residence if you're based in Europe here or elsewhere in diaspora. Now, we talked about these governors and what they are doing. Let's talk about our own people, the local people. IPOB, I mentioned about our agricultural fund earlier on, which was a huge success last year, and we hope to replicate it and improve on it this year. I know that there is a special committee working assiduously to ensure that that happens in terms of the distribution of the seedlings and other logistics to make sure that it's greater productivity. But my question is around our own people back home. How do you assess their psyche? Politicians have, in their wickedness, have weaponized hunger and poverty and changing the orientation of our youth. Nobody wants to do any hard work anymore. All they are thinking of is the get rich quick syndrome, easy money, they call it a Gombute, Yahoo Plus and all the nonsense. Our people ready, particularly our younger generation, who should be the greater manpower force we have, are they ready to go back to our sustenance, which is agriculture, even in mechanized form? Do you think they will embrace this?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I think in my own thinking, if you sensitize people and make it attractive to them, I think people can be able to dabble into anything you bring to them. Yeah. So if you're talking about farming, actually, just like you said, it was a very good success actually, and this year we look forward to improve it. Actually, I wasn't drafted into that committee who is looking into that agricultural farming forum, or yes, farming planning or whatever actually. But one thing I see is that as what IPOB is doing is very, very wonderful, because sometime around July time I saw, or before July or before August or so, I saw in the southwest where they have a storage of food storage just being built. A very massive one has been built, actually, where they will store food. So these people are planning ahead, actually, while we are trying to really come up with something at this point in time. So what IPOB is doing for all people is really very, very good. And I look forward that people who are in that other planning committee, they are also taking that direction to really create and enabling that whereby food people will be going to go into farming and also store food, so that food that in any of the eventuality we still can also fall back to food, because which was a weapon that was used against us during the war. We all are aware of that. Now coming to our own people, our own youths, it is said that if you learn, you will grow. If you sow, you will do. But when you swear, you will burst. So an average youth in Nigeria now, as we speak, we're looking for a way to make it in the shortest and quickest possible way. But you know that life also is a process. It's something that the day you plant is not the time. The time for planting is not the time for reaping at the same time. There's time, there's process. So you don't just come in and hope to get it quickly due to the message they get from our churches. Oyinbo has said something about the churches before, which we all know. Actually, the kind of message is coming out from there. Like I had one from somewhere in one pastor. So let me bring it here, please. For John, I don't know this, but let me bring it here. Who was saying that if you don't have money, it's a sin. It's a sign that something is wrong with you. If there's a sin or it's a curse on you, you can imagine that. So every youth in that church will go by all
something is definitely wrong with him.
Yes, he said so. One pastor from the Wari. He said, I can't remember his name now, actually. I would have called him, I can't remember his name, actually. On air, he's there, actually. So he said, if you don't, money is just putting money as a forefront of everything you need to get. That if you're not rich, it's a sign that you are under a curse or a spell. He said so, actually. We can find that, actually. If I find, I'll share it to you. So, now, a youth under that kind of teaching, what do you expect? He will steal. He will do so many things to make the money. So these are those things coming up. So instead of telling them that life is something that you don't just I don't know how to is that is you grow into something. You don't just come and get this spontaneous that doesn't happen that way. So this is why you see Yahoo Plus for thriving in that country. So this gives us a very bad name in Europe or in diaspora here. So now when you look at our governors, actually, like one of the questions you asked, looking at our governors, whether they will help, I think there was a question like that, whether they will help to really, whether are they going to, I don't know if I get the question again, actually.
Create a level environment, or at least, as you mentioned, CPOP, for example.
From what I'm seeing, this present governor, apart from the one from Nigeria, is trying to do something as if it's, but let's see. Actually, I don't see these guys come up to do something that will make us thrive or enable us to achieve our goal in the Biafra land. I don't see these guys doing it. So all I have to say that we have to hold our own destiny in our own hand. Revolution is the key. Preventing IPOB is the key. These are those things that I would like us to really encourage our youth to really come together, join us. Let's keep putting the message of Biafra and also other things. And if we are more in number, then we can outnumber them. Then we can achieve our aim. So this is my few words in this context. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martinez. And with the attitude of our youth, as you rightly pointed out there, it makes life very difficult for anybody who wants to return with their investment. Some people have had a very woeful tale to narrate about the experiences. I'm one of those as well. We lost a lot of money trying to invest back home or return investment home because people are untrustworthy. People are just too selfish, too mean and wicked. They don't care. As you said, all they care about is how do I get the money at all costs. So what would be your advice to anybody who is listening to us and so many other people preaching this gospel of homecoming, Akurula, or investing in our Biafra land as a step towards our restoration? What would be your honest advice? Particularly those of us here in Europe or in your region, the Scandinavia. Mazonukafo, I think you can take that first.
Okay, Mazi, thank you so much. You see, talking about manpower, we have the manpower, Mazi. So, the machinery, I want to also advise our people to invest more on the farming machines, because I can see that some of our youths back home are not willing to go in the traditional way of farming that we are used to anymore. Some of them are thinking that you can, get quick money or whatever. I don't know who introduced them to Egombute or whatever they call it. So it's no longer the type we used to know. The one that says Akajaja Nebutono Mano Mano. I don't know where they're getting this orientation they have today from. So what I think is the farming or agricultural this thing we are talking about, we should also help them now to bring some machines, some things that will help them to actually cultivate. And I want our people to invest more on in those days there were what they call this palm plantation. These things are necessary. And the plantation. We used to see all this. Today, our people, I don't know, it's like their brain is being turned the other way. They are no longer willing to put hand in these areas. So the people that are okay, that they can actually purchase, both home and abroad, I urge you to bring some farm implements that are needed, so that our people can start having these things easy. And I want to also talk about what do you call it? This animal husbandry, fish farming, and all the rest of them. Yes, Mazi, in those days, when we were home, we used to have a backyard. You go to backyard, you can get some okra, you can get some pepper, you can get, you can basically get everything you need to use to cook. Just in your backyard. Today, our people are used to having concrete everywhere, cement the whole place. This is not helping at all. If you don't have a place, make sure you reserve some place at your backyard or at the front, so that you can fix in some things you need. You are a human being. You are not going to live on the air. You live on the ground. On this planet you are still. You can benefit from what you can fix. So this is what I will say to our people. And those who are able to engage in agriculture in a bigger way should go into it. Because, Mazi, everything you can become in life, Mazi, you need food in your stomach before you can be actually reasonable. You see our people today, some of them are, if I say miserable, some of them we think I'm insulting them, but God knows I'm not. But I feel like many of them are jobless. Totally jobless. There is no job to do. You see a young man wake up in the morning, he has nothing to do. Mazi, these are things that are worrisome. We are troubled, Mazi. We need that place to change. So that our people, because you see about unemployment, Nigeria don't talk about unemployment. So when you see high rate of unemployment, it's like, it's something that the people in Europe and other places discuss. Nigeria doesn't discuss about unemployment. They have a high rate of unemployment. Mas, I will tell you, when I was at home, a few years ago, a young man came to me. He said, can you fix me, because I was having a project around the house. He said, can you fix me to work here? I said, oh, but I have given it to a contractor. He said, I want to really work, but I also have a need now. I have soup in the house. I don't have any gari to make to eat. I look at this young, a full-fledged young man. I felt so really bad in my heart. I said, okay, I
I can try to fix you. Don't have given it to a contractor, but I can fix you. I will pay you myself. But go home first. You need to go home and eat first. But I will give you some money. You go home with your friend because there were two to eat. Then you can come back and work. Then when they left, one of my brothers told me, these guys that are smoking goof and that. I said, but this is far from that. Forget about it now. This young man can work. We can fix him if he really want to work. Then the guy went home. After eating, he came back and he worked. And he worked more than those that were even working before he came. Believe you me. So the problem is that our people doesn't have something to do. So people who say they want to share rice, I'm not against anybody who want to share rice. You can share rice, but give seedlings to our people so that they can cultivate. Create companies, create industries, put something. Because we are tired of the politicians. I don't know how to talk about them. It's like they are totally off because the enemies are telling them, pepper the people, we will defend you. Destroy the people, we will defend you. I don't know what they are being told. So, thank you, Mazi. Let me just also take it.
You're very correct. Teach a man or a boy or a woman or a girl how to fish or engage them in fishing rather than giving them fish to eat every day. That's also one of the sub-themes of homecoming. Mazi Chukwemeka, in mobilizing Biafrans within your region or country, what would be your honest advice in mobilizing anybody and encouraging them to go home, return home to invest and settle down on whatever they want to go and do there, maybe just for business? What would be your honest advice to such an individual, given the situation at hand?
I will be very, very clear on this actually. Just like we talked about, everybody who, let me say, let me want everybody actually. Most people living in diaspora wants to go back home and invest. But these youths on ground, who are you, a business that you are not there. But I'm talking from experience. A business that you are investing in Nigeria or wherever, or in Africa, whatsoever, that you are not there. You are not there. It's bound to be ruined because you have the vision. You have the vision. You can only be making phone calls and they might be telling you this and doing another thing, actually. So I've done this, just like you said, you've lost money. I've also lost money, millions of euros, you've lost pounds. My predecessor, my colleague there has also lost a lot of money in his own currency, krona, actually in Sweden. So we've all lost money one way or the other. So what did I come up with in my own way? This is what works for me. I discovered that, okay, what am I going to invest on? I would not really put the business on ground and go back to Finland and sit down. I have to work here and be making phone calls and things. So what do? I discovered that what works for me or what will work is real estate. But still at that, you will still lose some money, but it will be a little bit limited or it will be cocked. So with real estate, you can be able to do something actually. While the rent, when you are done, rent will be paid into your account. So with that, it saves, it reduces theft. So now, secondly is this: when you know that you are about to retire, there's time for you that you should work. You will start working. Are you retiring to remain in Europe? Are you retiring to remain in America or whatever? But for me, if I like to retire, all I've learned in Europe, I like to go and share it back home. So I'm retiring back home. Recently, I came back from Texas a couple of months now, 1 up to 3-4 months ago, and I asked a friend of my friend and brother, I said, hey, come look, where would you like to retire to? He said, I would like to remain here in Finland. In America. But I said, no, I have a different view. I want to go home. So you see, at my own, I was speaking to myself now. If I want to retire, I will look for retiring back on. So it's time for me to start going, exploring what possible business I will do outside this real estate. So because that time I'll be there. If I'll be there more. Because if it don't still remains like this, that if Biafra tarries, but if Biafra comes, I believe it will be a nation that is a heaven on earth. We will all look forward going back home and stay there and do things we don't want to do it. So this is my own humble advice. So if you must invest in Biafra land, make sure you are there. If you're not going to be there, then be rest assured that they may likely use you or eat for that dream might not be actualized. That might be a problem for you. Because once beaten, twice shy. If you lose one at the first instance, you don't want to go and invest some money heavily again. So this is my take on that. Thank you.
That's the reality of the day. You're very correct. Our lines are open. The numbers to call, I take them once again. You can reach us on WhatsApp on 078-177-96032. If you are calling direct from the UK, you can also call directly on that number. If you are calling from outside of the UK, please add the country code +44 before the numbers. That is +44 781 779 6032. You may also try our second line. Again, you can reach us via the same approach, either directly from the UK. The number is 0744 8183 or you call that same number on WhatsApp from outside of the United Kingdom by adding the country code +44 744 8183 We'll be happy to take your call and get your contribution. If you have any question to ask any of my panelists here today, Maazi Isaac Chukwemeka, IPOB National Coordinator in Finland, and Maazi Stanley Onokafo, IPOB National Coordinator in Sweden. Gentlemen, I must thank you for your time and contribution tonight. Talking about how we can reorientate our people, the media has a very strategic role to play here, very pivotal, including IPOB media. Do you think the media generally has been, at the forefront of this particular campaign for homecoming, for us to stop or reverse the brain drain? Unfortunately, what I observe here in the UK is that every year the statistics shows that a lot of people are rather leaving our homeland and trooping all here. The only reason they tell you that hardship here is the difficulties, economic difficulties back home, and the only solution is to leave and come to greener pasture in quotes. What can the media do to reverse this trend? Gentlemen, anybody can go first. Why? We had somebody on before, veteran, Lance Corporal Uzoma Morocco. Yes, you came on before. If you don't mind, sir, you may call back in. We are happy to take your contribution. Gentlemen, please, let's look at the role of media as we begin to narrow down the discussion to the conclusion.
Mazi, you see this hardship they are pushing on us. I pray to God Almighty that this hardship will not destroy our people. Because, the land we live, we inherited from people, our forefathers that fought gallantly to preserve this land for us. Some of us shared lands, got portions where we build our houses. This is a sacrifice done by our forefathers and our fathers. Many of them, or most of them, were not rich. They didn't sell away these lands to eat, belly full, or to be rich. Rather, they thought of us, they preserved this land, and they went to bed hungry, and we came in our time, we had some piece of lands to share, we have some places to build our houses, and go home. Mazi, you see this hunger they have used as a tool. If we don't take proper care,
This will be our destruction. Because the Japa, or whatever they call it, syndrome that is coming, you're running away, it will put us in trouble. Because while you're running, some people are earning your land. The place you want to run away from, there are things beneath the land, and they are coming for it. So you see, I'm hungry. Let us not be like Esau in the Bible. We know the story of Esau. I don't want to go in there, so I won't take our time. But let us not be like Esau. Because when you feel that you have run away because you are facing hardship, I'm not saying nobody should travel now. That's what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying now. So what I'm saying is we have to be careful how we leave our land for reasons that doesn't really make sense. That's why I make reference to our fathers, that they were hungry, they didn't sell away the lands. They kept it for us. Mazi, this land we have inherited. Our duty is to pass this land back to our children. You see, there is no greater gift you can give to your children than to give him that indigenous land where he was born. Because even in abroad, if you like get 100 passports, Mazi, they write somewhere as place of origin, country of origin. They write something to remind you where you come from, in case you forget it. So you're running away, you're coming to abroad, you think, oh, I want to eat good today, you forget tomorrow, you forget your children, you forget your lineage, you forget your heritage. So this will put us in trouble. And I don't know how to say it actually, because it bubbles in my mind. That whenever I remember how we some of us, we are frustrated out of that country called Nigeria. It wasn't that we really wanted to travel. Some of us studied in that land. We couldn't get no job. We left. We came to Europe. We have seen how things work, generally. So, you see this syndrome of running Japa syndrome, it will put our people in trouble. So, some people who doesn't own no land, they want to take over your land to call it their own. And they look at you, sheepishly trying to run away, to leave the land, for the devourers to take it. Tomorrow you become homeless, you become, I don't know, there is a word I'm looking at for now, I can't get it. I used to work somewhere, and I met a guy, you know, the year, I don't remember the year now, I was trying to travel back home. I said to the guy, I'm traveling for Xmas. He said, oh, how I wish I can also travel like you. I said, but why can't you travel? Don't you have a land? He said, oh, I cannot travel to my land. What's the problem? That guy was from Palestine. He said, I cannot travel because that place is surrendered. I cannot go in there. I said, but have you not been going there? He said, no, I have not. I was born here. Since I was born, my father, my mother, they always tell me stories of our land. I so much wish I can get in there, but I cannot. I'm stuck. I start to think that thought never left me. So you see this Japa syndrome, I want to travel. We that are in abroad, we want to come back home, for example. We want that home to be fixed. That thing that is pursuing us from home, we want to see how to actually confront that and to come back to our home. And some people are saying they want to travel, you want to serve the Oyibos, right? Those who put you in the trouble you are, you want to go and serve them, where they go back to your land and make whatever you have there. How does it make sense?
Absolutely, and that's my question. All these we are saying, thank God for Radio Biafra. How about the mainstream media? Are they doing enough to, pass on this message, particularly to our youth? Mazi Chukwemeka, how do you see the media in terms of this homecoming call or akrulo? A lot of things go wrong and then they are not reported in the media in the right way.
Okay, please, are you talking about the media in general or our own media?
Yes, generally, the media, they call the mainstream media, including our own IPOB media too. Because
I think I don't expect the mainstream let to talk about our own homecoming. It's we that will do our sell our story and tell our people, hey, it's time for you to come back and do stuff actually. But so far, when you look at our media, our own IPOB media in general, actually, you can see that though they are doing a very beautiful job, fantastic job, trying to expose the ills in the land and stuff like that actually, but homecoming I've not seen much of work being done in that area, so we should do more in that context. But what I will say is this, that if we could be able to say, okay, bring people who could come up just like this, and also in our restaurant now we have a Biafran television in where it is actually, people listen to our Biafran television who come and educate us on the need for us to come back home. This homecoming we are talking about now, actually, that could make sense, actually. People, so when you're going to see, and we share these things in part, and, then it could get to everybody. Because media is very, very important in life now as we speak. Media made us lost the war, actually. So now it is here, now it is at everybody's disposal. You can come in and do what you need to do, even from your home. The media has a new meaning, actually. So it's really a very powerful weapon. For example, if America wants to come to war, they don't come first of all send the media to paint you black. For example, I'll give you a story. People see Putin as a very devilish human being, but really, America is the one causing the problem, not Putin himself, actually. But they paint this young man black. So now, Donald Trump is being seen in the Finnish media as a very bad person. But today, people are going to see that what he's doing, and it's coming for good for his own people. So, but the media has been a very, which he himself has already criticized several times. So the media is a very powerful weapon for it to succeed. So now we have these things in our generation and in our time. So let us use it well. So I will say in my own thinking, that's in conclusion, that we should educate people that we could bring people who will come up to the media and share their own view about this home calling. It will make a lot of sense. I'll leave it here. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. The media is a very powerful tool, and it is even more so now that we have the social media. Yes, that rightly said, people seem to focus only on one side of media, maybe information, general information or education, without being very specific and intentional on what it is. Our IPOB Agricultural Front project is very much interwoven with homecoming, because if we must dissect it properly and analyze what that program is meant to achieve, it is very obvious and strategic that those who will carry out the full mechanization of farming or agriculture back in Biafra land will be mostly diaspora. People who have been exposed to mechanized farming, who are able to source the machinery, technology, and other things required to do so. Yes, we are starting off small by distributing seedlings to local farmers, but the ultimate goal will be to actually mechanize farming, and I'm sure IPOB is thinking in that direction, because IPOB also can own hectares of land, or farmland, to engage in mechanized farming to feed our people. Otherwise, it will all end up being sustenance, just from hand-to-mouth farming system, which our great-grandfathers practiced back in the days. So the whole vision should be revolutionized, such that that program can go in pari passu with the homecoming agenda. People must be able to go back home to transfer, or rather, as Maazanoka said, reverse the brain that was drained back to our Biafra land. Bring the knowledge and skills, exposure and experience that we've acquired over time to the good of our land and benefit of our people. That is exactly what issue is meant to achieve. If you take Catalonia as a case study, their independence is still onward, but they are massively engaged in development. And all these things can happen without security, which is what the ESN is there for, which is why community engagement is very important, because we must engage our people. And then we must begin to show those good examples by putting practical things in place within our own capacity to transform all our ideas into practical realities on ground. That's what our people will see. And I'll tell you, that's what's going to bring us Biafra faster than anything else. I think at this stage in time in our movement, the time of rhetoric, screaming whether on media or in person, or here Biafra, and all the evangelism and the rest is gradually waning. This is the time of strategical implementation of programs, projects, action plans to put things in place to ensure that things are actually working. Because the hungry man, as they say, is an angry man. Our people remain hungry because hunger has been weaponized against them and continue to negate the objective for which we are fighting for. So this is where I think the media has a very massive role to play. As Mazi rightly pointed out, our people should stop being silly on social media. Entertainment is good. Laughter is good. It's therapeutic. But then we should stop being silly and invest our time and resources into very creative things. As I said, nobody's talking about homecoming on social media. But everybody wants to make skits and create some comedy. And some of them are absolutely useless or nonsensical, in context and content actually. And that's not what we need at this present point in time. And sometimes I think some of us are choking, while trying to achieve what we want to achieve, which is Biafra restoration. Thank you, Mushirek. We'll be winding it up gradually, but the lines are still very much open. Listeners, I'm sure you're out there listening to us, perhaps enjoying the discussion. We'll be happy if you engage with us, interact with us, ask one or two questions if you have. So unfortunately today we don't have the platform to get your questions via the Facebook and also other media platform we use to get your interactive questions. So if you can call in on the numbers I mentioned earlier on, that will be very much appreciated. The numbers once again are 07817796032. From outside of the UK is +4478177960032. Or you may try the second line, which is 0744-818-3132 from within the United Kingdom. Or on WhatsApp from outside of the UK +44-744-81-83132. You are still listening to the UK Timeout on Radio Biafra, and I have my guest here, Mazi Stanley Onukafo, IPOB Sweden National Coordinator, and Mazi Isaac Chukwemeka, IPOB Finland National Coordinator. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and your wonderful contribution tonight. Let's look at this year. The year is still relatively new, but a lot is expected of us as IPOB family worldwide. 2025 is widely believed to be our year of reformation and positive transformations. Our HOD of the Directorate of State, Mazi Chike Doziem, hinted that in his New Year landmark broadcast. Our European rep, Mazi Austin Abani, who was on this program a couple of weeks back, also alluded to that, the need for us to transform ourselves and also transform the movement. We, the United Kingdom here, resolved that back end of last year, and we are taking steps to ensure that there is positive transformation, because things cannot continue to be the same. As we await the return of Onyendu, I keep saying this, I use the analogy of a clean house as reference. It will be very, very unwelcome that after nearly 4 years Onyendu comes back and the house is very unclean, unkempt, or filthy. Part of the cleaning or clean-up exercise is transformation. I'm sure he wants to see a transformed movement that is vibrant, positive, that is really active, effective, and efficient. So I want to know from you, I'm sure you're thinking the same way. I probably also have some action plan in your place. What are you thinking of currently doing in line with this New Year resolution? Or what is your own New Year resolution for the movement in your country? Let's start with Finland, because you guys have been through a lot, especially in the hands of the man co-host. Now,
Thank you very much. I had your question very clearly. Actually, we will be our family here in Finland, our noble family here in Finland. Shout out to them. Actually, they have been solidly behind me. All thick and thin, all through when I came on board up till now. Actually, they have been solidly behind me. These are the few of us who stood and said, no, IPOB will still remain formidable in Finland, despite the fact that they are much infiltrators. They outnumber us, but we still stand. God doesn't work with numbers. Just look for the few ones who are going to be loyal to Him. This is why we are called Umuchileke. So we are the ones who are loyal to God. We will still stick to the oath of allegiance we swore to remain faithful. So we still remain faithful. So I shout out to all my members, and also the DOS and everybody. So, looking at it, what was, if you look at what happened last year, from the beginning, we've been struggling with a lot of things, which I would not like to mention on air here, actually. But our European rep is aware of that, and few other people knows what we have been going through. And as God could have it, towards the end of the year, around October, so we were able to break through, do some certain things before we had God finally, fought the battle for us, that we had a different use of a being captured. So God, thank God. So our fight has not been in vain. So, and this year you look back and you say, okay, what did I do? Where I did well? Am I true? Where I did well or where I didn't do well? So the ones you did, where you did well, you will improve on it. Actually, where you didn't do well, you look forward to putting more time to see how to make it better. But for our family, I think we will be having our first meeting sometime next week or so. I think we'll discuss these things. So I agree with the idea of it. But so far, nobody is lost. Nobody is dead. Nobody is found wanting in every sphere. So we are together. Rather, God is adding to us. I believe this time we'll do. At least we'll come up with number and we'll keep doing our beautiful thing. But so far, Finland is okay. We are formidable, and we'll represent IPOB Finland in every of our rally where we'll be called upon. So I'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
They will continue to work strong, continue to make sure that the infiltrators, the agent provocateur, and his cohorts have no foothold in that place. And just as our GOC, Mazi Chinasamuru, announced recently, we have the window of opportunity for those who were deceived or rather confused, or whatever state of illusion they found themselves, to have a restructuring, a rethink, and to find their way back to the fold, the family, the one family IPOB. I'm sure you are also opening your arms to receive them and put the necessary check and balances in place to ensure that those returnees are treated fairly, but also guided and observed meticulously, because we cannot afford to make another mistake or fall into another trap. I'm sure you're doing great as well in that regard. Do you have anything to share in terms of your strategy or what your focus is or resolution is in Sweden for the
yes, just as our HOD said, this year 2025 is a year of reformation and positive transformations. So here in Sweden, we are intact, I will say, though there are some few people that claim to be confused, but we are not deterred. Neither are we worried so much about it, because Mazi Nandikanu told us that
the time we come and the house will be shaken. He also urged us to stay where we are, and we are not surprised that some people have decided to go the other way around. They are not pulling us down, I will say, because when Mazen Nandekanu said that you need 100 men, you know, some of us we were thinking like, oh, we are millions, you know. How is this man talking about 100 men? So, but today we are seeing that he's actually a prophet, and he told us what we come. So, I'm not saying that IPOB is 100 men. No, what I'm saying is some people who claim to be confused, I say claim because there is no reason to be confused. You have a leader. Your leader is not dead. Your leader is still alive. Your leader speaks to you. Your leader told you a lot of things even before he was kidnapped. So, but they choose out of their own voluntary to be confused. Some of them that are confused, we have moved on. As we speak, there will still be some form of reformation in Sweden, and what we are saying is you don't have to be an IPOB member before you can understand that we are fighting for survival and we are fighting for self-preservation. You can support us. Wherever you are, you can support us, provided you're a Biafran. So, having said that, the IPOB Sweden is Western strong and moving forward. And I want to tell all the Biafrans to also remember that, you see, this crop of leadership we have today is ordained by God Almighty. The same way, Mazen Nandekanu came, you didn't bring him in. You didn't vote him in. Rather, God brought him to be a savior for you. This leadership we have today, the DOS, it is up to you to know the necessity of using this ample opportunity we have for these great men to usher us into Biafra. Because, Mazi, I will say that having been in Nigeria for a long time, it has affected the psyche of our people so much. Sometimes I get angry. Sometimes I advise myself, because having understood the process we have gone, I see some people can actually miss it, because not everyone is gifted with understanding. So, what I'm saying is that if you're a Biafran and you have seen everything that's happening in our land, it's necessary for you to look up and say, how do I want to solve this problem? Because we are facing a kind of existential threat, which if we don't do anything, we will become fugitives. But believe you me, Mazi, IPOB, or should I say Biafrans in a whole, we are more than, we can actually face what has come to us. Biafrans are blessed in such a way, I don't know how to quantify it. We are blessed. You know, when people say, well, we are everywhere, we are everywhere. Believe me, everywhere we are, we have seen it all. We have seen it all. If we decide to defend our land, if we decide to protect our land, we have all it takes to do so. You see, I don't know why our people, having seen that we have ESN, we decide to patronize and fund the terrorists when they are kidnapped, instead of funding the men that has been brought to save them. I don't know. Mazi, at the last, I will have something more to say, but to just keep it at your question, there is a reformation. So those who are confused, please, if you are totally confused, remain where you are. If you have recollected yourself, you can come back to us. We will accept you. If you don't want to be part of us, no problem. But you feel like supporting us, you are highly welcome. All we care for is to defend our land, because being in Nigeria has cost us a lot of pain. And if we continue to be in Nigeria, the psyche of our people will continue to degenerate. Let me just stop here for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Machineke. Thank you very much. There's a lot to say, but time flies. They say when you're having fun, and I can't believe how 2 hours have flown by. I once again want to thank you all. Yes, we will have reformation. We've already begun with it, and it has to be holistic. As you rightly said, both within the family movement, there will be reformation. There should be ongoing reformations already, and without, for those who are outside of the movement, who want to return, or who want to still stay out but can support. There needs to be reformation from internally, individually. Everybody needs to undergo serious reflection and make a commitment to reformation for us to witness that positive transformation we want to see in Biafra land that will usher in the restoration of Biafra. It's stepwise, it's a process, it needs to be systematic. And those who don't understand it or grasp it should please try to bend down, do their due diligence and research, and try to understand this. As I said, you mustn't be a member of IPOB to understand this and to support Biafra restoration. You mustn't be a principal officer, a national coordinator, or whatever name title you hold to function. And then if you are privileged, and you must live up to it. Here in the UK, my resolution with my cabinet this year is no more room for inefficiency, ineffectiveness. It's either you're doing what you need to do to the best of your ability, or you just stay on the side and do where you are called and able to do, so that nobody is a cog in the wheel of the movement's progress, which I think the leadership should also embrace and implement without fear or favor, without let or hindrance. This is exactly my personal vision, and I think I was glad when I listened to the HOD and I could listen and read everything through, every single word, and I could understand the direction he was heading and he was looking at. Once again, thank you very much, Ezigbo Muchineke, my special guest tonight, Mazi Stanley Omokafo, our able leader in Sweden, and also Mazi Isaac Chukwemeka, our great formidable national coordinator in Finland. Before we leave, I want to shout out to IPOB lead counsel, Barrister Ifeanyi Jofo, who celebrated his golden birthday yesterday. We wish him happy birthday and many more blissful return in good health of mind and body, and pray that Chukwu will continue to keep him strong to do the work he is doing for Biafrans in the legal profession that is his calling, and also to continue to support in every capacity of his the restoration of Biafra. Happy birthday, Machineke. On behalf of the IPOB Media and IT Innovation team, who always work with me to produce this program, and our Radio Biafra anchor, Mazi Chukwemeka Loze, who ensures that we come to you on air, I want to thank each and every one of us and say that's where we draw the curtains on today's edition. Next Sunday, which will be the first Sunday in February, we'll be back here again with another panel on an interesting topic. We discussed it briefly last September, but things have taken a new turn and we are looking at it again. The blessings that Biafra land and Biafrans are naturally bestowed on or endowed with sometimes become what the enemy uses against us. So we re-examine Biafra oil and gas resources, source of hatred and marginalization. Join us then. For now, from here, from me, it's good night and God bless.
Thank you very much, Biafrans. Okay.
Thank you, Muchineke. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night, John.
Thank you, Mazi.
Thank you.